Some survival knives look indestructible right out of the box. Thick blades, full tang construction, aggressive designs, and steel names that sound almost invincible. But a knife can look tough without actually being tough. So this time, we put 10 survival knives to the test to find out which ones can genuinely handle demanding outdoor work, and which ones only look impressive on paper. We're judging them on the things that actually matter: construction, blade geometry, edge stability, handle control, durability, field practicality, and how well they perform when the workload gets serious. This isn't about blindly abusing a knife or pretending any blade is literally impossible to break. Every knife has limits. The question is whether these 10 knives can handle the kind of hard use you'd realistically expect from a serious survival tool. We're counting down from number 10 to number 1, and only 3 knives will prove they deserve to be called truly dependable. Some will surprise us, some will struggle, and one will stand above the rest. Let's start the countdown. Number 10, Schrade SCHF 52, the heavy budget option. Starting at number 10 is the Schrade SCHF 52, a knife that certainly looks like it belongs in a survival situation. With its large blade, substantial construction, and aggressive profile, this is the kind of knife that immediately gives you the impression that it's ready for hard work. The blade is around 7 inches long and uses 1095 high-carbon steel, a popular choice for hard-use knives because it offers good toughness and can be sharpened relatively easily in the field. The full tang construction also gives the knife a solid foundation, and the large handle provides plenty of room for different grips. When you're processing branches, preparing firewood, cutting rope, or working on basic shelter materials, that extra size can be useful. The knife feels substantial in the hand, and its weight gives it some momentum during heavier cuts. But there's a difference between being heavy-duty and being genuinely versatile. The SCHF 52's large size becomes noticeable when you move from rough work to precision tasks. Carving, feather sticks, food preparation, and detailed woodwork can feel awkward compared with a more compact survival knife. The large blade also adds weight to your pack, which matters when you're carrying equipment over long distances. Another consideration is the 1095 steel itself. It's tough and practical, but it isn't highly corrosion resistant. In wet environments, proper cleaning and oiling become important. That doesn't make the knife weak. It simply means durability requires maintenance. The SCHF 52 earns its place in this ranking because it can handle substantial outdoor work, but it doesn't demonstrate the balance we're looking for at the top of this list. A survival knife shouldn't just survive punishment. It should remain useful before, during, and after it. The SCHF 52 is a capable budget tool, especially for users who prioritize blade size and rugged construction, but its bulk and limited finesse keep it at number 10. It starts our countdown with plenty of attitude, but the knives ahead are going to prove that toughness isn't simply about making a blade bigger and heavier. Number 9, Buck 119 Special, the classic that wasn't built for abuse. At number 9 is the Buck 119 Special, and this is one of the most recognizable knives in the entire lineup. Its traditional clip-point design, polished appearance, and iconic handle have made it a favorite among hunters and outdoor users for decades. But this ranking isn't about popularity or history. It's about whether a knife can stand up to demanding survival work. The 119 uses 420HC stainless steel, which offers a useful combination of corrosion resistance, toughness, and relatively easy maintenance. That's a major advantage if you're spending time outdoors in wet or humid conditions. The blade geometry is also excellent for controlled cutting, making the 119 particularly effective for hunting tasks, food preparation, carving, and general camp work. In those areas, this knife can be extremely capable. The problem appears when the work becomes unnecessarily aggressive. The 119 wasn't designed to be a pry bar, a splitting wedge, or an extreme abuse tool. Its geometry and traditional construction prioritize cutting efficiency rather than maximum impact resistance. That's important because a knife can be strong without being designed for every type of punishment. During realistic survival use, the 119 can handle plenty of work, But if you start asking it to perform tasks better suited to an axe or dedicated heavy-duty survival knife, you're moving outside its intended role. That's why it lands at number 9. It isn't a bad knife. In fact, it's an excellent hunting and outdoor knife. But the title of this video demands more than ordinary competence. We're looking for knives that can combine cutting ability with serious durability. The Buck 119 demonstrates that traditional design can still be effective, but it doesn't offer the same hard-use confidence as the stronger competitors in this lineup. Its biggest strength is controlled cutting, not brute force survival work. And that's a valuable distinction. The best survival equipment isn't necessarily the tool that looks the most intimidating. It's the tool that matches the task. For hunting and general outdoor use, the 119 remains a proven classic. But when the test starts becoming tougher, other knives are simply better equipped for the job. That's why this legendary buck takes number 9. Number 8, Morakniv Garberg, the bushcraft specialist. Number 8 goes to the Morakniv Garberg, and this is where the competition starts becoming much more serious. Morakniv built its reputation on simple, highly functional Scandinavian knives, and the Garberg takes that philosophy into a full tang survival platform. Its blade is roughly 4.3 inches long, which puts it in a very practical size range for bushcraft and general wilderness work. Depending on the version, the Garberg is available in stainless or carbon steel, giving users flexibility depending on their environment and maintenance preferences. The biggest strength of the Garberg is its cutting performance. The Scandinavian style grind is extremely useful for wood carving, feather sticks, notching, and other controlled bushcraft tasks. Instead of relying on a massive blade to generate performance, the Garberg uses efficient geometry to make the cutting edge do the work. That gives it a very different personality from the oversized knives lower in this ranking. The full tang construction also adds confidence during heavier tasks, and the compact size makes it considerably easier to carry than many large survival knives. But the Garberg isn't an excuse to ignore common sense. A full tang doesn't make a knife indestructible, and the relatively thin cutting geometry is still designed primarily around cutting rather than extreme abuse. If you're processing small branches, preparing camp materials, or building a shelter, the Garberg is excellent. If you're trying to replace an axe with it, you're asking the knife to perform a job it wasn't designed for. That's the reason it lands at number 8 rather than breaking into the top 3. Its strengths are precision, portability, and bushcraft efficiency rather than brute force. The handle provides a secure grip, and the overall balance makes it comfortable during long periods of use. For someone who wants one compact knife that can handle most realistic bushcraft tasks, the Garberg is a very strong choice. But this test is specifically looking for the knives that prove their durability under serious demands. The Garberg earns its position because it combines a tough, full tang platform with excellent cutting performance, but it still has limits. And as we move higher in the ranking, we're going to see knives that are built with even more margin for hard use. Number 7, Gerber StrongArm, the tactical all-rounder. At number 7 is the Gerber StrongArm, a knife that approaches survival from a more tactical and general-purpose perspective. Its roughly 4.8-inch 420HC stainless steel blade offers a useful middle ground between compact knives and oversized survival blades. That size makes it practical for a wide range of outdoor jobs without becoming unnecessarily cumbersome. One of the strongest features of the StrongArm is its handle. The rubberized grip is designed to provide traction even when conditions aren't ideal, and that's something that becomes extremely important during real outdoor work. Wet hands, mud, cold temperatures, and fatigue can all make a knife harder to control. A secure handle gives you more confidence and reduces unnecessary movement. The StrongArm also uses a full tang construction, giving the blade a strong structural foundation. Its coated blade adds protection against the environment, making it a practical choice for users who don't want to constantly worry about surface corrosion. The sheath system is another advantage because it provides flexible carry options depending on how you're setting up your gear. During general survival tasks, the StrongArm performs well. It can cut cordage, prepare food, process smaller pieces of wood, and assist with shelter construction. But the closer we get to the top of this ranking, the more important specialization becomes. The StrongArm's 420HC steel is practical and corrosion resistant, but it isn't chosen specifically for extreme edge retention or maximum toughness. That's not necessarily a weakness, it's a trade-off. A survival knife that is easy to maintain and resistant to corrosion can actually be more useful in certain environments than a tougher carbon steel blade that requires more attention. The StrongArm's problem is simply that the competition above it offers stronger combinations of durability, cutting performance, and field capability. This knife doesn't fail because it's poorly designed. It lands at number 7 because several other knives give us more confidence when the work becomes genuinely demanding. For someone looking for a dependable, straightforward fixed blade that can handle a variety of outdoor tasks, the StrongArm remains a sensible option. But if we're asking which knives truly prove themselves when pushed toward their limits, the StrongArm comes up just short of the next tier. Number 6. Cold Steel SRK, the proven survival workhorse. Number 6 belongs to the Cold Steel SRK, and this is one of the knives that immediately feels purpose-built for survival. The SRK was designed as a survival rescue knife, and its design philosophy is refreshingly straightforward. Give a user a tough, practical fixed blade that can handle a wide range of demanding tasks. The blade is around 6 inches long, providing more reach than compact bushcraft knives while remaining manageable enough for general camp work. Depending on the version, the SRK has been produced in different steels, including SK5 and other upgraded options. But the important thing is that the overall design remains focused on hard use. The Cray-X handle is one of the standout features. It's highly textured and provides excellent grip, which becomes especially useful when your hands are wet or when you're wearing gloves. A knife can have excellent steel and still become dangerous if the handle doesn't stay secure. The SRK's handle gives you confidence during powerful cuts and repetitive work. The blade geometry is also practical. It has enough belly for general cutting while maintaining a strong point for outdoor tasks. The knife can handle shelter construction, cordage, food preparation, wood processing, and emergency cutting without feeling overly specialized. Compared with some oversized survival knives, the SRK also feels more controlled and predictable. But there are trade-offs. The thicker blade isn't as efficient for delicate slicing as a thinner bushcraft knife, and its larger profile means you're carrying more knife than you might need for lightweight trips. Still, when the environment becomes demanding, those characteristics become advantages. The SRK is built around reliability rather than aesthetics or gimmicks. It doesn't need to look futuristic. It needs to work, and that's exactly what earns it number 6. It has enough durability to handle serious outdoor use, enough versatility to justify its weight, and enough grip security to remain practical when conditions become difficult. It doesn't make the top 3 because the remaining knives offer an even stronger combination of toughness and overall performance. But the SRK proves something important. A good survival knife doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes the strongest design is simply a well-executed tool that does its job without unnecessary distractions. Number 5. Ka-Bar Becker BK16, the compact hard-use knife. Taking number 5 is the Ka-Bar Becker BK16, and this knife proves that serious survival capability doesn't require an enormous blade. With a blade around 4.375 inches long and a full tang construction, the BK16 sits in a sweet spot between compact bushcraft knives and larger survival tools. Its 1095 Crow Van steel give it a strong reputation for toughness and field serviceability, while the manageable blade length makes detailed work much easier than it is with oversized knives. That's important because survival isn't just about cutting thick wood. You're also carving, preparing food, making notches, cutting cordage, shaping shelter components, and performing dozens of smaller tasks where control matters more than raw power. The BK16 handles these jobs extremely well. Its proportions allow you to make precise cuts without feeling like you're fighting the knife. At the same time, the full tang and robust construction provide plenty of confidence when the workload becomes heavier. The 1095 Crow Van steel is also relatively easy to sharpen in the field, which could be a major advantage after prolonged use. The downside is corrosion. Like other carbon steel survival knives, the BK16 needs proper care in wet conditions. But that's a manageable trade-off for a blade designed around toughness and repairability. Another advantage is the knife's overall weight. It's substantial enough to feel serious, but compact enough that you're not carrying unnecessary bulk. That balance is one of the main reasons it beats several larger knives in this ranking. A giant blade may look more intimidating, but a survival knife needs to be useful for more than one task. The BK16 gives you enough strength for demanding work without sacrificing too much control. It doesn't quite make the top 3 because there are knives here with even more extreme durability or broader field capability. But it comes close. The BK16 is one of those knives that becomes more impressive the longer you use it because nothing about the design feels unnecessary. It's simply a well-proportioned, hard-used fixed blade. And number 5, it proves that intelligent design can be just as important as raw blade thickness. Number 4, Fallkniven F1, the cold weather survivor. Number 4 is the Fallkniven F1, a knife that takes a completely different approach to survival durability. Instead of becoming larger and heavier, the F1 focuses on reliability, corrosion resistance, cutting performance, and compactness. Developed for Swedish military aviation survival use, the F1 was designed around the idea that a survival knife needs to remain dependable when the environment itself is already hostile. Its blade is roughly 3.8 inches long, making it one of the smaller knives in this competition, but the compact size is actually one of its strengths. It's easy to carry, easy to control, and less tiring during extended use. Traditional versions use laminated VG10 steel, providing a useful combination of edge performance, toughness, and corrosion resistance. The convex edge is particularly interesting because it gives the knife excellent cutting ability while maintaining a smooth transition behind the edge. That makes it useful for wood processing, food preparation, carving, and general outdoor tasks. The Thermarun handle also performs well in cold or wet conditions, providing a secure grip without becoming unnecessarily complicated. This is where the F1 earns its position. It doesn't need to be huge to inspire confidence. Its strength comes from a carefully balanced design that considers the environment as much as the blade itself. Of course, there are limitations. The shorter blade isn't ideal for larger wood processing jobs, and the premium price makes it a more expensive choice than many competitors. It also isn't the knife I'd choose if my primary objective were extreme battening through large pieces of hardwood. But that's not what the F1 is trying to be. It's designed to be a dependable survival companion that can perform a wide variety of tasks without becoming cumbersome. In a real emergency, that versatility matters. You want a knife that remains useful when you're cold, tired, wet, and far away from your normal equipment. The F1 demonstrates that survival durability isn't always about surviving the most brutal possible test. Sometimes it's about remaining reliable across a wide range of realistic conditions. That's why it reaches number 4. It is compact, refined, highly practical, and built around a very clear survival philosophy. But 3 knives still manage to combine toughness and versatility even better. Number 3, K8 Bar Becker BK2, the heavy-duty beast. Now we're into the top 3, and the K8 Bar Becker BK2 companion earns number 3 because this knife is built around one simple idea. Take hard-use construction seriously. The BK2 has a thick 5.25-inch blade made from 1095 Crow Van steel, and its substantial blade thickness immediately separates it from the lighter knives in this test. This is a knife designed to handle demanding work where a thinner blade may feel out of its comfort zone. Wood processing is where the BK2 really shows its personality. Its thick blade and heavy construction give it the confidence needed for serious battening and other demanding camp tasks. The full tang runs through the handle, creating a solid structural platform, while the handle itself provides plenty of grip and control. The result is a knife that feels extremely difficult to intimidate. But the BK2's strength is also its biggest compromise. It is heavy. It isn't the knife you choose if every gram in your backpack matters. It's also not the most efficient option for delicate cutting. Carving small pieces, preparing food, and performing precise work can be easier with a thinner and lighter knife. That's why it doesn't automatically win this ranking. A survival knife needs to be tough, but it also needs to be practical. The BK2 excels when the work gets brutal, but its size can become unnecessary during lighter tasks. Still, if your definition of survival knife includes serious wood processing and hard use capability, the BK2 deserves enormous respect. It's the kind of blade that makes you feel like you're carrying a tool rather than a fragile piece of equipment. The 1095 Crow Van steel also gives users a useful combination of toughness and field sharpening capability. Again, corrosion is something you need to manage, but that is expected with this type of carbon steel. And number 3, the BK2 earns its place by demonstrating that when a knife is designed with enough structural margin, it can handle a tremendous amount of realistic outdoor work. It may not be the most refined knife here, but when the job gets ugly, the BK2 is exactly the kind of tool you want nearby. Number 2, ESE6, the field-tested survivor. And number 2 is the ESE6, and this is where durability and practicality come together in a way that's difficult to ignore. The ESE6 features a full tang construction and a blade around 6.5 inches long, giving it enough size for serious outdoor work without becoming as heavy and specialized as the Becker BK2. Its 1095 carbon steel blade is particularly well suited to survival use because it combines toughness with relatively easy field sharpening. When you're far from civilization, being able to restore an edge with basic equipment can be more valuable than having a premium steel that demands specialized maintenance. The ESE6 is also designed around versatility. It can process wood, cut rope, prepare food, assist with shelter construction, and handle general camp work without feeling like it belongs to only one category. The handle provides solid control, and the full tang construction gives you confidence during harder cuts. One of the most important things about this knife is that it doesn't rely on flashy features to establish its reputation. The design is straightforward. The blade is straightforward. The sheath is practical. And the company has built a strong reputation for standing behind its products. That creates confidence because a serious survival tool should be something you can depend on for years rather than something that simply looks impressive on camera. The ESE6 does have one obvious weakness. 1095 steel requires attention in wet environments. If you're operating around rain, humidity, or salt water, maintenance becomes essential. But that's not a deal breaker for a knife designed around toughness. In fact, many survival users accept that trade because carbon steel is easy to sharpen and repair. The ESE6 reaches number 2 because it gives you a rare combination of strength, reach, control, and practical field maintenance. It isn't the heaviest knife here, and it isn't the most compact. It simply occupies a very useful middle ground. But if the ESE6 is number 2, one knife still managed to beat it. And the reason isn't raw toughness alone. It's balance. Number 1, ESE4, the best overall survivor. Taking number 1 is the ESE4, and this is where the entire ranking comes together. The ESE4 doesn't have the longest blade. It isn't the thickest knife. It doesn't have the biggest handle or the most intimidating appearance. What it does have is balance. Its roughly 4.5-inch 1095 carbon steel blade gives it enough size for serious outdoor work, while keeping the knife compact enough for precise tasks. That balance is exactly why it beats the larger knives in this test. A survival knife needs to be capable of hard work, but also needs to remain useful when the task changes. The ESE4 can handle wood processing, carving, food preparation, cordage, shelter construction, and general camp work without feeling like you're carrying a miniature machete. Its full tang construction provides the structural confidence expected from a serious survival knife, while the blade thickness gives it enough backbone for demanding use. The 1095 steel is also easy to sharpen in the field, which makes long-term reliability more realistic. Yes, It needs protection from corrosion, but that's a manageable maintenance requirement. What really separates the ESE 4 is how naturally it fits into a real survival kit. It's compact enough to carry comfortably, tough enough for serious work, and versatile enough to handle jobs that would otherwise require several different tools. The handle gives you excellent control, and the overall proportions make the knife feel predictable rather than oversized. That's important when you're tired or working in difficult conditions. A survival knife should reduce problems, not create new ones. The ESE 4 also benefits from EC's reputation for standing behind its products, giving users additional confidence in long-term ownership. The BK2 may be better if your priority is extreme heavy-duty work. The F1 offers advantages in cold and wet environments. The ESE 6 gives you more blade length and reach. But the ESE 4 combines the strongest elements of all three without becoming overly specialized. That's why it takes number 1. It doesn't need to be unbreakable. It simply needs to be dependable. And after comparing 10 serious survival knives, the ESE 4 proves that smart design and balanced performance can matter more than brute force. 10 knives entered this test, but only 3 truly proved they could handle serious survival work without giving up their strengths. And that's the biggest lesson here. Unbreakable is a marketing claim, not a magic property. Every knife has a limit, and the smartest survival tool is the one whose design matches the job. The ESE 4 takes number 1 because it delivers the best overall balance, while the ESE 6 and Becker BK2 show just how far a dedicated hard-use knife can go. But now I want to hear from you. Which knife would you trust if you had only one blade in the wilderness? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want to see more real-world knife comparisons, survival gear tests, and rankings where the specs don't tell the whole story, subscribe to Gears Flicks. More blades are going on the test bench soon.